So if you guys are wondering why the heck I have this bag over my head, it's because I have no makeup. Ugh, I know I look horrible, but I had to run out to the car and grab something really quick, and I don't want the neighbors to see me. So I'm gonna teach you guys what I do for my everyday makeup. So come on, let's go check it out. I'm gonna put this bag over my head one more time. Okay, so the first thing that I've already done is I've applied my moisturizer, and I use Pond's moisturizer just because it's so light and it's easy for me to apply on. It doesn't add too much oil into my face. It's a really good moisturizer, so I've already applied it through my face. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my concealer. And I like the stick concealer just because I can directly apply. I'm going to apply it under my eyes. You don't want to put on too much concealer. I'm going to apply it right in between my bone cheeks. And I'm going to blend with my fingers. Now, since this is an everyday look, I'm not going to apply too much concealer, as when I'm running around, it sometimes adds crease onto my makeup, or if I'm not careful with it, it just looks too thick. And I mean, when I go out to the store, out to school, like I said, I just apply it under my eye circles and also to define my cheekbones. Now I'm going to apply Ooh La La Lift. Now this is a really good product because it lifts up my eyebrows and it also helps my eyeshadow stick on much better. So I just apply a tiny bit underneath my eyebrows and I just spread it out with my finger. Cool. Now if you guys have a lot of pores and if you guys have like pimples that are kind of like big and they look kind of nasty, I suggest that you guys use the Pore Professional. You guys can buy this at Macy's and it's from Benefits. It's really good. You just apply a tiny bit on your pores that are kind of big. Anything that looks like it's too big, that needs to kind of close up. That way throughout the day they don't open up even more with the oils and stuff. This will lock it in place. And I normally get these big pores throughout my cheeks. So I like to spread it out evenly. That way those pores can go away. And I also sometimes get it in between my nose and right in between my forehead and my eyebrows. So you can barely see it, but it works. So you can't see it when you apply it, but you can definitely tell as the day goes on. So now I'm going to apply on my foundation. I use this Revlon foundation. I love Revlons, all types of foundations. I used a whole bunch of different types, but since today I was traveling, this is my mother's house. So I travel and I like to carry this that has all types of different shades. It has from dark to darker. It has from light to darker shades. And the reason why I like it is because I can also do contouring with this. I'm not going to contour my face for an everyday look, but I do contour my face when I go out at nighttime or when I'm going to go to the movies or anything like that. So for this, I'm going to use level 3 and I'm just going to spread it out my fingers. And if you guys like, you guys can use a wedge. I like this Ulta wedges, and the reason why I like them is because they're not so soft and soggy. Then they also don't tend to rip. I tend to find some other type of wedges that tend to rip a lot, and I use them for my clients, but I don't normally use them for myself. But if you have big pores, I suggest you use wedges because the big pores tend to have the makeup not cover as well. So if you apply it with a wedge, the wedge fully penetrates the makeup into our pores. Since my pores are not as big today, and since I also use the Pore Magic, then this will do the works with my fingers as long as I evenly apply. So I start off with my cheeks, and then I go up to my forehead, and I go in a circle. So I kind of go, either you can go clockwise. Today I went the other way, not clockwise. But I'm just gonna spread it out. Make sure you guys spread it out between your eyes as well. Sometimes I see a few girls out there that, you know, walking down the street and they don't evenly spread out their makeup, and it looks really, really bad when you don't do that. So you have to make sure that you evenly spread it out. That's why I go in a circle. That way I make sure that I get every single piece of my face, you know, fully covered and protected. Now also Revlon has SPF. on their makeup, which is great because well, I live in a very hot area, whether it's at my mother's house, which is up north, or whether it's down south in LA. You know, both areas are very, very hot areas, and we have to make sure that our face is protected. So definitely use something that has SPF. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more. Usually I do about 2 squeezes, and now I'm down to my bottom half of my face, and I like to spread it out through my ears and down my jaw and neck. So you want to just pat it down. You don't want to like go over it and go over it with your fingers. You want to make sure it's evenly distributed, but you don't want to rub on it for too long either. So patting it down kind of and spreading it out. Cool. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my translucent powder. Now I use powder right after my foundation, and I also sometimes use it throughout you know, my makeup routine because eyeshadow tends to get all over the place, and this will also remove it. But this translucent powder from Vinai is so good. You don't even understand. I use this for sets and I love it. I love it so much because it fully covers the pores, and it really gets in your pores, taking out all the oils in there, and it lasts all day. Takes out all the shine. Totally my number one you know, thing in my makeup bag is this, and mascara, and like maybe eyebrow, you know, something for my eyebrows. But definitely powder is a must in my everyday routine, because just the foundation itself gives you like a very oily look, and I don't really like that. So just spreading it and making sure that, you know, everything is nice and even. And even though it seems like I've added on, you know, 3 times already onto my makeup brush, I have this powder for about 6 months, so it lasts. And it's tiny, as you guys can see, it's very small. And I had it for about 6 months already, and it's almost done, you know, but it's been a long time since I haven't bought one, and I mean, it works great, lasts a long time, so a little goes a long way. Even though it seems like I put a lot on my brush, it really isn't a lot. Cool. Sweet. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply my blush. Now my blush, I got this really cool makeup palette from Eve Pearl, and it has a whole bunch of like eyeshadows and powder, and then it has 2 blushes. So I like to mix both of my blushes just because it's really fun. It comes out with a nice color in between, and I don't apply too much on, so I apply where I applied my concealer at. So there I'm going to apply in circular motion, and then you can smile, and you can see where your cheekbones are going to be at as you are putting in your blush. I'm going to do a little bit more on the left side now. You always want to do it in a circular motion so it can evenly spread through your face and your cheekbones. So I got this really cool makeup palette from Murphy Brushes, and I visit them. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I visit their brand new store, and they had like a huge sale going on. It was 40% off everything, but you can get this palette online on their website for about 30 bucks. I mean, 30 bucks for this makeup palette is extremely good. And I'm gonna use their closest to white color, but not yet the whitest. So it's a little bit tannish and it's more neutral. That way you can kind of tell that I have eyeshadow on, but not fully. And I'm gonna do it with my fingers, as you guys can see. I just put a little bit on my fingers, and I'm gonna spread it out from the bottom of my eyelid going upwards towards my eyebrow. And I usually apply either with my fingers if it's my everyday look. Now this everyday look, I mean, it's an everyday look. I do this every single day after the shower when I'm about to go anywhere. I normally don't go just without nothing. As you can see, I walk with a bag over my head when I don't have nothing in my face. But when I do go out and I have my makeup on, this is my basic look. It takes me about 10 minutes to do. And I apply with my fingers just so that I don't have to, you know, get my makeup brushes dirty and stuff like that. But when I do go out, like, you know, when it's something more serious like work, or when it's like me shooting for you guys or something like that, I tend to apply it with a brush or with, you know, the eyeshadow brushes as well. Any type of brush would do the works, but that's more layers into our eyeshadow. So I've just evenly applied throughout. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a sparkly color like the one on my Eve Pearl palette, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit with my fingers, and I'm gonna apply on the bottom section of my eyelid to give it a little bit of pop into my color. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite eye. Cool. And now what I'm gonna do is with the same Eve Pearl palette, I have a matte color. I'm gonna apply the dark matte color. You can, if you don't have this palette, you know, you can kind of match the colors with anything that you have at home. And this matte color, I'm just gonna apply it over my finger and apply it on the corners of the bottom part of my lid. And this will just kind of give it a small definition in between colors so my eyes can pop out a little bit more and they just don't look all sparkly. This matte color will even everything out. Now all this blending can be done, you know, much better with a brush, but once again, this is my morning routine, my everyday routine. Of course, when I go out there in the fields and I do makeup, you know, everyday makeup on my clients, I apply with brushes. But since I'm always on a rush, when it's for myself, I kind of tend to use my fingers a lot just because I'm already kind of a pro with blending with my fingers. And as soon as you guys start practicing blending with your fingers, you will become a pro too. So easy, so fast, you know, and then you'll start noticing when it's in a special occasion to use brushes, when should I not use my brush, and you know, when how do you know when you feel like, how do you know when you look good, you know, with just this tiny bit amount of makeup and with your fingers application? Like sometimes the brushes don't do all the work, you know, as long as you do the application, you're the one doing the work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my eyeliner.